I love Dr. Sim's work, but here's where I see gaps for real women. So in this video, I'm going to discuss the gaps and my recommendations. If you're a woman over 40 who cares about feeling good and looking your best as you age, you've got to listen to this one. So today I am covering one of the most popular exercise physiologists and nutrition scientists for women's health and fitness. My name is Dr. Stacy Sim. So I read Dr. Stacy Sim's book Roar. I watched a long form content on YouTube, podcasts with other fitness experts. I even follow her on Instagram. Mad respect. I'm a huge fan. I even made a full video on my honest opinion of her and also Dr. Mary Claire Haver and Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. Several women were like, oh my God, this is so awesome. I learned so much from it. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that. I delved deeper into Dr. Sim's teachings, and today I want to talk just about the training aspect. Okay, so disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm a 44-year-old mom and a certified fitness coach for 40 plus women, and I've helped hundreds of women drop fat, build muscle for over 9 years. So this is just my opinion, all right? And I'd love to have conversations with you around it. So feel free to drop your opinion in the comments and let's chat. First, let's talk about what kind of training she recommends. So according to Dr. Sims, for women in as early as their 30s, could be in perimenopause already, the first thing that we lose is strength and power, not really lean mass. So lean mass meaning muscle and bone. And so the training that she recommends is power based to help with that. Powerlifting, big compound moves using multiple muscle groups. So you've got squats, deadlifts, and pushing at true high intensity, 3, preferably 4 times a week. And this is low reps. So it's like around 6 reps. Okay. And you're lifting really heavy. Then she recommends adding to that high intensity interval training. So HIIT and or sprint interval training, sit 2 to 3 times a week. So let me break these down so you understand that. HIIT, she says you go hard for 1 to 4 minutes at 80 to 90% of your max, and then you rest for 1 to 4 minutes, and then you repeat this 3 to 5 times. For example, you've got the bike, okay? So you can go really fast for 2 minutes at 90% of your max, and then you go at a relaxed pace for 4 minutes, and then you repeat this like 3 to 5 times. And that's if you're super fit, okay? So if you're starting out, you might want to do shorter high intensity periods or fewer rounds. Then there's the sprint interval training, sit, and this is kind of under the umbrella of HIIT. And it doesn't necessarily mean running because a lot of women think sprints is just running. In fact, she likes the assault bike for sit training. So it could be running, like running sprints, bike, burpees, thrusters, any of those. And you go as hard as you can for up to 30 seconds where you feel like you're going to throw up at the end. That's what she said. Okay, and then you rest for like 2 to 3 minutes, and then you repeat this 4 or 5 times. The rest period could be you walking down the hill after you sprint up, or just pedaling on the bike lightly after you finish that bout. Then she also talks about jump training, and if I understand correctly, this is either HIIT or sit, but you're choosing a high impact move like box jumps or squat jumps or high knees with the jump rope. And the benefit here is to increase your bone density while getting the benefits of HIIT and sit. By the way, fun fact, running is not considered true high impact. It's not high impact enough to increase bone density. High impact for bone strength means forceful landings, explosive moves, and multi-directional stress. Okay, so with running, you're doing the same movement, repetitive movement over and over again in a straight line forward, right? Your bones get used to it, they adapt, and then they just maintain. So they're not stimulated to get stronger anymore. That's why long distance runners who do extreme volume, who are under eating and they're not adding resistance or impact training, might actually have low bone density. So true high impact would be box jumps or jump rope variations, which are my favorite. I love them. So high knees, single leg hops, or crisscross, or even squat jumps, lateral skater jumps, any of those, or even sports like basketball, tennis, or volleyball. So I thought this was interesting and I just wanted to share that. How you structure all the training that she recommends. So she recommends either doing the HIIT training on a separate day or at the end of a 20-minute strength training, aka powerlifting workout. So she says you could do 20 minutes of resistance training and follow that up with like a couple of box jumps, which is a HIIT or sit training. Now, here are my issues with all of this. Number one, in my opinion, Dr. Sim's content is generally geared towards elite athletes. Okay, so for the general population of women, and more so if you're talking about 40 plus women who, in most cases, don't have a foundation of lifting weights and they do mostly cardio based stuff or fitness classes or yoga, maybe some light weights, this is all very intimidating. This kind of strength training that she's referring to here, powerlifting at low reps and very heavy weight, you'd need to have perfect form. You could get injured, you could be out for months, especially since recovery after 40 takes longer. Okay, it's generally slower. It takes a long time to build up to this, and you 100% need a coach to watch your form to correct you. And this goes for the high intensity cardio that she recommends as well. Okay, so when you're doing repetitive movements at a high speed and your form is sloppy, you can bust your lower back, you can strain your shoulder, you can strain your ankle. I've been there, okay, trust me. And while she does caution about having a solid foundation, building your form first, she's done this on multiple podcasts, of course, and she even has programs where she says build your foundation first, and those programs can help you. I see the comments on all her videos, and the takeaway is that I need to do super heavy lifting and high intensity cardio as a woman over 40 to age in the best possible way. So understand that you do not. There are other more effective ways to drop belly fat, build strength, get in shape, which is what most of the women over 40 I see want, okay, which I'm going to cover later. Secondly, she is right. Over 30, we do lose strength and power first, and then lean mass, aka the muscle and bone, not so much. Although this does accelerate during perimenopause and menopause. But here's the thing, okay, this refers to athletes again, because the general population of 40 plus women have not built enough muscle mass, right? They don't have enough muscle or strong bones to begin with because they don't prioritize resistance training or eat enough protein. So they're burning through the little muscle mass that they have because all the cardio based endurance workouts are actually eating away at muscle tissue. So because muscle mass drives fat loss, shape, metabolism, longevity. More lean mass just means that you have a higher caloric burn, you've got a tighter waistline, better blood sugar control, and hormonal regulation. And you build muscle through hypertrophy training, okay, not powerlifting, although there is some overlap there. 8 to 15 reps is the king of building muscle. It's science, is proven. Now, she goes as far as to say that 70 to 80-year-old women who ditch the hypertrophy 10 to 12 rep range and switch to powerlifting in the 6 to 8 rep range increased lean mass, bone density, they decreased fall risk. Okay, all of these are great. But I guarantee you, if I tell the average 40-year-old woman, for example, who isn't experienced with lifting to do like 6 reps of deadlifts, she's going to pick up the lightest weight, okay? And that doesn't build anything at 6 reps. So here's my take, okay? Build a foundation with hypertrophy training, 8 to 15 reps, build that muscle, build that shape, and then add blocks of powerlifting at 6 reps for your 60 plus body as you get more experience and then you understand your limits. For example, like I've had women who will come up to me and ask me how much weight is considered heavy. The answer is that this depends on each person. So you're only going to have that answer once you start lifting weights and you start gaining experience. You'll see that at 10 reps, for example, at 15 pounds, it's getting really challenging. Now you know your threshold and what to beat in your next workout. So this is why tracking your weight is really important as well. So number 3, I see that Dr. Sims is open about focusing on long-term health and longevity, which I love, but she kind of pushes aesthetics aside, right, as being a byproduct of getting healthier. So her whole training model is focused on functionality, independence, bone density, fall prevention, and there's really nothing about sculpting or shaping your body. And to be very transparent, okay, I'm 44. I still want to look good. Yes, I do want strong bones at 60, but I also want to feel confident in what I wear now. And I want to love what I see in the mirror now. So again, this is where training for strength and power falls short. So you cannot, for example, create this hourglass shape or build your glutes to look great in like pants or in a dress with this style of training. In fact, if you're just training for strength, you don't care about how you look, you just want to get stronger, that's fine if that's the goal. Hypertrophy training or bodybuilding, this is where you can shape your body. And guess what? It also builds strength. It also increases bone density and it also helps you age better. And it is 1,000 times safer than pushing super heavy weight at low reps. Number 4, okay, lastly, this is all very confusing, right? She says heavy resistance training, and then there's high intensity, which is HIIT, sprint interval training, which is sit, jump training, and then, yeah, you've also got soul food if you want to do long bike rides or hikes. So, the way I understand it, she recommends 3 to 4 days of heavy powerlifting and 2 to 3 true high intensity sessions of HIIT or sit, which can be done on separate days or after your resistance training days. If you do this on separate days, if you're doing your high intensity work on separate days, you'd end up training like 5 to 7 days a week, very intensely, okay, which in my opinion can destroy your central nervous system. So you need days off to recover from intense training. And so the other option would be to do it after your strength training workout. Okay, I don't know about you, but I am walking out of the gym with my legs wobbling after a leg workout. So I am not going on an assault bike to do high intensity work. Thank you. Plus, unless your whole life revolves around fitness, like who has time for all this, right? Now, again, Dr. Sims does emphasize that training needs to be structured based on your experience level. And of course, like I said, she offers different programs, but here's how I would structure it for a 40 plus woman who's just starting out and just wants to drop that belly fat, build some muscle, build strength, improve their general health. Start with 2 strength sessions a week, 8 to 15 rep range, and then build up to 3 workouts a week if you have the time. After a few weeks of being super consistent with this, with your strength workouts, then you can add 1 high intensity session on a rest day or after your workout if you feel okay to do that. I personally like 10 to 30 seconds of all out jump rope, and then I take a minute and a half rest. And then I'll repeat this 4 times for like, I think it's a total of 8 minutes. That is it, okay? Keep your steps at like 7,000 to 8,000 a day so you burn a little bit extra fat. Girl, you're going to look like a different person in no time. You do not need anything else. If you're someone who's tired of trying different things, you're confused with all the information out there, and you just want a simple blueprint that you can easily follow, proven to work, and it includes nutrition and accountability, just click the link in the description to join my free 7-day reset